Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows. This is take 2 because we can't get our lives together. Okay, so we are taking a break from the day in the life that we were doing to do a video that you'll see a couple days from now. And oh, don't hit your brother. Okay, and I said we should...
With the swing. He's not trying to hit his brother. He's
yeah,
swinging.
he's swinging. The baby walked up, but the baby doesn't understand swings move and you can't walk in front of him. So,
which is why he was behind us here in this here swing that we weren't moving. And we were talking about movement.
Okay, yes, we're talking about movement. So if you watched this video, we were talking about the presidential fitness thing. And so now we're going to talk more about movement.
Okay.
So
the kids are over there moving.
They are.
They're playing their version of pickleball that they made up.
Yeah, they've never seen pickleball. They just
I think we did at the Belfast City Park. They had the courts. We watched people for 30 seconds while we drove by.
While
they
we
don't
drove
know the rules.
Yeah.
We don't have the right equipment, but we have a good time going outside and enjoying. So it is the day before Thanksgiving currently, which means it's the end of November in Maine. It's generally wicked cold out here, bud.
Yeah.
But it's nice today. It rained last night and it's like 50 degrees outside.
Yeah.
So we are all outdoors as long as we can possibly handle it.
Yes.
Which will be probably till it's dark.
I told Mark I'm not going to force people to stay outside, but I'm also not taking them in. There's usually a point that I start to get cold, or one of us adults start to get cold, and we're like, okay, we're going to be out here a little bit longer, and then we're going to put everything away. But today they can wander in if they need to, but the rest of the people will stay out.
Yep. So movement, it's important. I, as a large person who has some health challenges, sometimes find it difficult to move, especially with my back and neck injuries. Make it very hard to move. But I saw the chiropractor the other day, and the best thing for me is to move, just not to lift heavy things or bend and twist and things like that.
Do all the things he wants to do.
But I tend to do. I don't want to lift heavy things and twist the wrong way. I just tend to get myself in
He
that
tends to
situation.
think I should be moving, so I'll help with chores or household things. And then next thing you know, he brings up a big bag of grain from the basement. Right?
And then my back hurts, yeah.
So we need to keep him from doing that.
So this morning, as part of our movement, I realized that with this presidential fitness challenge thing, Samuel has a surgery upcoming, so he's been trying to keep in shape because he knows he's going to have to be lying around for a couple of weeks at least while his knee recovers.
He also knows it's best to go into surgery with that knee as strengthened as it can be. He's been off of it. Like, he walks.
Oh, we're not swinging, sorry.
He walks with a brace, but he has been with the brace now for 2 months.
He had that brace before we went to Tennessee,
right.
1st of October. Wow, it's been forever.
I think it was mid-September he got it. So it's been a little over 2 months. So, you know, there's just, you're walking different and all of that stuff. So he's trying to stay strong. One, he's going to need his arms to help with transferring and pushing the wheelchair and things like that. And then he's also wants to have his legs as strong as possible because those muscles will recover better if they're in good shape.
And for me, generally the best way to move is to walk up and down the driveway, to just kind of go chase the kids, do what they're doing. In the winter, that's much harder. I have balance issues even when it's dry and nice out.
His body acts like there's ice on the ground when it's not.
Yes,
when
we'll just be walking down the driveway and all of a sudden this foot won't slip. I'll feel like it slipped and I'll react like I slipped. And that will actually throw my neck out of joint again. So we had a slight venue change.
Well, we were talking about movement, so we moved, and now we'll talk about movement again.
Here we are sitting down talking about movement. Actually, the kids wanted to build a fire, and we were sitting right by the fireplace, so we figured it'd probably be a little loud for us to continue to sit there when they wanted to sit and get their work done. So they're all having a good time. Grandma's over there with them on the fire, and Naomi is all adult, responsible sorts of people involved.
Yes, and we can see them from where we are.
Oh, yeah.
So when we do these videos, we are still parents, and we're still doing the parenting that we need to do.
We'll try to adjust this a little bit. A second.
So
that's better.
We occasionally will pause the video to say, hey, you need to listen to so-and-so, or hey, make sure you have a bucket of water, like those types of things. You'll hear us say things because we don't want this channel to be, we are forcing them to be quiet and do their thing while we make videos. So
yeah, we make videos when we have time, when it works for our family. So thank you for bearing with us and understanding that. Because again, as we said, like, we're outdoors because it's gorgeous out. And we've been walking, and we did get some projects done, and now the kids want to sit down and do the fire thing, and we're going to sit down and do a little video thing, and then we'll go chase Gideon a little bit more, because we're in the middle of the Day in the Life Gideon edition.
Right.
Okay, so what's going on?
So we were talking about movement and how you can't get out in the ice because your body thinks you're falling down.
Yes.
I think we finished that story before we had to turn it off.
Oh, good.
So you need to get out in the winter.
Needing to get out. Now we do have a basement. The basement's a little chilly. It's usually about 45 degrees down there. But we do have some space downstairs that we can go downstairs and we can walk up and down the stairs. That was one thing that I have on my list of things I'd like to do every day, is make some trips up and down the stairs, because that's good for your legs, it's good for your heart, it's good for your body. So I want to work on that and just be diligent about that. And if I don't have a checklist, I'll forget that I'm supposed to do something. So I do much better if someone reminds me. And so Samuel's going to be my workout partner a bit while he's before his surgery. After his surgery, he'll need to take a break from that. But it's also just good for dads and kids to work out together, to exercise together, to be outdoors together, to do things together. It's not just the kids need to move, it's I need to move.
So I was listening, but I'm going to say something to them for a minute. Josiah, make sure your ball doesn't go inside the ring of trees, okay? Josiah's kicking a ball around the yard, but it's towards see, he's kicking a ball around the yard. But we don't want it to go over to the ring of trees because they're doing a fire over there.
Right.
And so it's just a handy place. Oh, and he got called over to play their pickleball game.
Okay.
That was what was going on. So, the baby is practicing his balancing.
He's going up and down steps.
On the porch in a safe place.
Yeah.
But we can see him right here.
Are you having fun?
So anyway, doing things as a family, it is good to be encouraging each other to move, because it's very hard. I sometimes feel like a fool. I go through little stages of working on like leg exercises. So for people who haven't been here, we've got multiple disabilities, challenges in our family. And I have a real trouble with balance. And so I would like to get into a routine of doing some exercises when I'm laying down at nighttime in bed, because I don't have to balance in the same way as if you're standing up.
Right.
So I have done these a couple times in bed, and Mark joins me for them, and then there's a lot of laughing that ensues, and I don't know how much exercise we get done.
Well, no, you still get the exercise. In fact, I think laughing in the midst of exercise probably is better for you.
Gets us more oxygen.
I'm pretty sure it does.
Oxygen.
I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, it can get pretty funny because we try to outdo each other, so then we're going until our legs are so shaky. But anyway, so it's good to have people to encourage you, even if they're not doing the exact same exercise, or even if they're not exercising at the same time you are. It's kind of like doing chores around the house. If you're always the one doing chores and everyone else is playing, it seems unfair. But if you know, well, I'm going to cook supper now and someone else is going to wash dishes later, it doesn't feel so much like I'm the slave. Does that make sense? Like it's like we all have equal things to do. If one person in the household is working really hard on their health and everyone else is just eating all the sweets and sitting around doing nothing, it can be discouraging. So
why were you looking at me?
Good. No. Because you're my husband. So it's good to encourage everybody. So right now we have, okay, I'll just give a quick rundown of our family in case you haven't been here before. We have Mark.
That's me.
He is
old, 51 years old. Over 50, still young, spry.
Well, I'm just saying the challenges that come with getting older.
Yes.
And so he's already got those challenges. And then he has neurological.
They've called it dystonia. They've called it seizures. They're currently calling it functional neurological disorder.
He's got a problem.
Which means there's something seriously wrong in my brain, but it doesn't come up on scans, so they don't know what to call it.
Right.
They don't have a treatment. They just say, do the best you can. So I'm someone who does the best I can by working until I pass out.
So he's got physical, so the brain issues cause physical problems, but they can't say, oh, it's this part of your brain misfiring, or we could give you this pill to help it. There's not a solution. So Mark has in the past been in physical therapy to try to help him to not fall.
Right.
Or that if he does fall, he falls gracefully.
I fall with style. Yeah.
Fall with style. The idea is because his body sometimes just stops working, he needs to be able to get up and down easily.
Right.
And so actually this can go to a different point that I wasn't going to talk about right now.
Okay.
But I saw something the other day. It was talking about burpees, and I could not do a burpee if my life depended on it. But if you know what I'm talking about a burpee, about like jumping down on the ground and then getting back up and jumping up. Yeah, I can't do that. But anyway,
I can probably do that.
The idea of burpees, this guy was talking that people see it as like this new health trend and whatever, but it actually, doing them slowly, is actually really good for all ages, but especially the elderly, because being able to get yourself safely down to the floor, a lot of times as people get elderly, they get dizzy. And if they can't safely get to the floor, they could take a fall where they hit their head or break a hip. And we all know that older people don't recover well. I think we've all probably had an older person who did something that the injury wasn't necessarily a life-ending injury, but then getting put into a nursing home and then stopping moving caused them
I used to work
eventually
as
die.
a certified nurse's aide, a CNA, at a nursing home, and that was definitely the case. When people stopped walking, they stopped walking. So if you had people that would normally do 5 laps up and down the hall, they'd go down for breakfast, they'd walk back, they'd go down for, you know, certain games or activities and come back. And 4 or 5 times a day they'd walk the hall. They would, you know, they wouldn't be the pinnacle of fitness, but they'd keep going. But when it was, oh, I'm too sore to come down to the breakfast table today, can you bring me breakfast? We had to encourage people. Again, you don't want to push people beyond what they're able, but you want to push people to what they are able. And I have to do that to myself, not going beyond what I'm able, but doing all that I am able to do, because you would oftentimes see them decline quickly over, you know, just a period of a couple of weeks. So I can't make it down for breakfast, and then I can't make it down 2 or 3 times, and pretty soon I'm sitting in my room, and then sometimes we're laying in the bed, and that can just be a downward spiral that we want to avoid.
Right.
The other thing is, like you were talking about, the falling safely. It's never a really good way to fall, but I fall, not regularly, not every day. A couple times a week I fall. I get to the point where I'm not feeling well. I need to move where I am to make sure I'm safe, and even just walking across the room, I oftentimes collapse on the floor.
But a lot of times,
but I can fall
do it
somewhat
safely.
gracefully. So
You
that I
haven't
don't
had a
get hurt.
big injury from falling.
No. Nope.
So
I've scraped something once in a while, but I've never hit my head. I've never had a major injury. I've never fallen full force
I don't think
down.
you've even ever gotten a bruise from
No.
falling.
No.
But like last night, he went to get up, knew he wasn't feeling well, and kind of fell back onto the bed because he knew that was a safe place to go. So the other idea with the burpee is the being able to get up, because there's so many times that an elderly person needs to call for help, like the fire department or whatever, just because they can't get themselves back up. And there's going to be times that you fall in a way that you're not able to get up. Like, I'm not saying never to call, because if you need help up, call. Like, definitely. But if
sometimes it's just as simple as getting off the floor.
Yeah.
You know, if someone was there nearby, I could help you. But some older folks don't have somebody living with them.
They either live by themselves or they live with somebody else who doesn't have the coordination or ability to. They have a big fire.
Yeah.
Big in our fire pit. It's like all safe.
In the fire, but it's just fun to watch.
But they might not have somebody who's physically able to help them,
Yeah.
even if they do have somebody there.
And maybe you could call a neighbor, but some people actually have to call an ambulance to come just to help them off the floor. So
And there are times
helping people fall well or not fall, or know their limitations.
And there are times that this is necessary. Like my grandparents ended up moving into a nursing home type situation that had assisted living on one side and independent living on the other. But they moved into that particular place because my grandfather was in a wheelchair, and he had the start of Alzheimer's. So he couldn't always remember how to transfer himself. And if he were to fall, my grandmother couldn't get him off the floor.
Right.
So she'd be able to call the front desk and they'd be able to have people come down and help her get him safely back in his chair.
Right. She was an average-sized elderly woman, and he was about my size.
Right.
But had both knees replaced.
Yeah.
A hip, maybe both hips replaced.
And so she could
had a lot
do
of mobility issues.
She could do a lot of things. Like she could talk him through how to take a shower and like those types of things. Most, it was maybe, once a month they needed someone to help him after a fall. It wasn't a regular thing.
But what a great opportunity that they did have some, like they had an option there where they didn't have to live in the nursing home situation, but they had people accessible to them so that if there was a fall, they could be safe. And then even if they needed to move from the independent to the assisted side, that was just a good continuum of care for them.
Yeah, for them. Like it's great when people are able to be within their own homes or within their own families. I'm not saying the nursing home model is the best. I'm saying having somewhere where you can have safety issues. So anyway, the idea of being able to fall safely and being able to get up safely, I think it would be good for all people, and this is something I should start doing, is regularly getting down on the floor and getting back up again. I do it in ways.
We have young children.
We have young kids, so I get down on the floor. But I think most people I have a lot of people I know that are my age that their youngest child is 10. They're probably not getting down on the floor with that child anymore. And I'm not saying you have to get on the floor with a 10-year-old. I'm not saying make your 10-year-old get on the floor, but I just have more opportunity to get down. But I think it's really important to get yourself down and get yourself back up. And if you did that 5 or 10 times a day, you would definitely be working full body muscles. Because a lot of movement and exercise is not about working, this muscle specifically. It's about working the muscles that you need for your body.
Specifically your heart.
Yeah.
Keeping moving, getting a cardio workout. What are you doing?
We're trying to wipe dirt off our hands. I spend time picking up children. I need those muscles to work. I don't need muscles to work about picking, I don't know. I could pick up a 50-pound bag of grain if I needed to, but that's not something I do on a regular basis. So I don't need to work those muscles. What are we doing?
That's generally, well, Abigail can do it. She has done it. When we go to the Azure Standard order in the truck, there's a lot of 50-pound bags, 25-pound bags that need to be moved. And the way we've been doing that is we all unload the back of the truck, set things out in rows. So we're carrying 25 and 50-pound bags pretty regularly.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing to be able to
But
do.
I could do it because I carry children all day long, not because I need to carry 50-pound bags. But if you work somewhere where you need to carry 50-pound bags, then you need to work those muscles. Everyone has different jobs. I need bread. That's something I do. And so it keeps me healthy, and it's something that helps our family. Our fire went out.
Oh.
It was a really big fire.
She killed
it rained last night, so everything's wet. So anyway,
more things about
moving.
moving.
Oh,
not
sorry.
about old people.
Hold on.
This turned into a geriatric video.
No, we started talking about you being old, but I was going to give an update on the whole family so people understood where we were coming from. Because when we're saying this about movement, I know it's so easy to find YouTube videos where people are like, yeah, I'm just training for a marathon next week, and then I'm going to do a triathlon and blah, blah, blah. And you could feel really discouraged about I can't do those things.
Oh, the couch to 5K. I went to my chiropractor and I was like, hey, I've been losing some weight. I've been feeling better. This a couple of years ago. I was thinking about doing that couch to 5K. He said running would be the worst thing you could possibly do for your neck and your back right now.
Because of his specific
Please
issues.
don't do that. Again, for most people, that's a very good idea. The extent of injuries that I've had,
careful,
it's a really bad idea.
Come this way.
But I felt discouraged about it because other people that, like my age or my body type or whatever, I thought could do it. And I thought maybe I should do that. I found for me, I was able to lose, I don't know, a few years ago, I lost 30 pounds in 3 or 4 months just by going out for daily walks, just by being careful about what I ate. I didn't have to do a lot. Now, men oftentimes have easier time losing weight than women do. It's not always the case, but oftentimes men can drop 10 pounds in a week or two, which if I get motivated,
guys will think about losing weight and they'll lose weight, and women will eat well for 2 weeks and the scale goes up. That's how it seems to go. A ball.
Didn't hit.
Pause for a second. Hey guys, where's Gideon? Oh, I cannot see Gideon from where I am, so he was the only person I haven't seen in a little bit. He's swinging just out of view. So anyway, yeah, it can be discouraging seeing these people who can do all these things that you can't do and then thinking, I should be moving. Well, don't go right to a 5K. That isn't going to work. So our family has challenges. So Mark just gave you his rundown.
Yep.
I'm Sarah. I'm 42. I've had 10 children.
You're
43.
10 babies.
43. I just turned 43. I'm 43 now. I just had 10 babies. Or not just had. I've had 10 babies.
Just in the last 22 years.
I've had 10 babies over the course of 22 years. And I also have a form of muscular dystrophy called Charcot-Marie-Tooth, which makes my balance really, really bad and makes my muscles not work the way most people's muscles do. So I can't balance on one foot.
She can't jump.
I can't jump.
She's never jumped in her life.
I can't, there's a lot of stuff that I can't do.
Right.
So it's okay. I can move in different ways.
Right.
Run down, we're going to keep going. We have 2 kids that are out of the house. I'm not going to mention them. Naomi is 18. She has POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome.
Yep.
Yes, I got it right. It means that when she stands up, her heart rate spikes really high, and she feels like she's going to pass out sometimes. So she can only exercise in certain ways, and that, I'm not going to do this video on that, but just she has to work out uniquely. She's not going to go run a marathon. Not that people with POTS couldn't run a marathon, but for her, she's not going to run a marathon.
But she's been very diligent. Like the cardiologist gave her some exercises to do, and she's been very diligent about doing them. So, and that's something we would encourage it, but she's very motivated. She's happy to do it on her own, so we don't have to push her to that.
She's supposed to work cardio for 30 minutes, like 5 days a week or something,
yep.
To the point where she cannot have a conversation with people. So for her, she would like to go downstairs and just listen to something on an earbud or whatever, because to try to do a walk like that with somebody and not be able to have a conversation with them, maybe you have a walking buddy who wants to do that, but no one in our family is at that point of doing that. And then we have Samuel, who is 15, and he's the one who's about to head in for surgery. He has dislocated his knees multiple times. They are putting a ligament on his left knee to keep his kneecap in place.
He also has Charcot-Marie-Tooth, the same genetic
issue that I have.
Issue that you have. So he has to wear braces to walk anyway.
And so do I. I didn't mention that before.
And so does Sarah. She has drop foot. She cannot pick up her feet or articulate them properly. So she has to wear braces if she's not on a flat level surface inside the house, basically. Samuel is very similar, struggles to walk. So, but that being said, he does push-ups and chin-ups and sit-ups and pull-ups and everything you can up, I think. Yeah, he does. He does everything he possibly can. He works really hard. But he has some limitations, and especially with his surgery upcoming, he's going to be a little more limited for a while.
And I forgot to say that Naomi, who has POTS, also had the same surgery last year. So we have an issue undiagnosed.
Today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We have an undiagnosed issue that we have connective tissue problems, where we dislocate things regularly, because I did that as a kid. What, your shoes?
Oh, your shoes.
Oh, you got burrs all over you.
Oh,
so then going down the line, our next child is Josiah, who's 13. He has cerebral palsy and epilepsy. He has been in physical therapy. So Mark's been in physical therapy.
Yep.
Naomi, after her surgery, or before and after her surgery, was in physical therapy. Samuel is going to be in physical therapy. He was years ago for the knee problem, and he will be after surgery again. Josiah was in physical therapy to try to strengthen the muscles that he needs to strengthen. So Josiah, between the CP and epilepsy, has issues with exercising, because when you have epilepsy and might have a seizure at any time, you have to do different exercises. There are certain things that would not be safe for him.
That being said, you want to talk about diligence and persistence and hard work. Josiah, as part of his therapy for his brain injury, does army crawling, and so he does approximately a third of a mile of army crawling every day, laying on his belly, pushing himself across the floor, laps after lap. He is super quick. We try to encourage him to do it in under 10 minutes to keep his heart rate going and all of that. This morning he did it in about 7. Like, he works hard, and he's been doing this for years. And it's very helpful to him with his specific
he wants to play too.
But that being said, he's very weak on his left side. He doesn't have much use at all of his left hand, and yet in that crawling, he's working those muscles. He's developing
We're talking about you. You want to say hi?
And shoulder strength in his left side that the doctor said he would never have.
This is Josiah. So Josiah does a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But he's 13, and he was in physical therapy, but he actually has done well enough that he has a break from physical therapy for a few months and will go get reevaluated. But he has exercises to do to keep up with his physical therapy. Next one down the line is Abigail. She is 10, and she has no known issues.
She's mostly healthy. Yeah.
And she just plays like the average child, but she also will do exercise with us. All the kids like to do like sit-ups and push-ups and all those things
or the
together.
walk-at-home videos with Nick or
Leslie Sansone.
But they like doing those kind of things. In the winter, when you just want to run around and move and get going, those are very helpful. We've done those as a family quite a bit over the years.
So then we have Uriah, who's just all rough and tumble little boy, just all over the place. 8. And he just runs and bangs into things and gets up and runs again.
Stuff for fun. That's right.
And then
He's
we have...
looking at me like, are you talking about me? Yes, son, I'm talking
Then
about
we have
you.
Malachi. Malachi just turned 6. We have a day in the life of him just sometime a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
And he has the same form of muscular dystrophy that I have. And so he wears foot braces, and he's actually just started physical therapy. The physical therapy is less for the Charcot-Marie tooth and more because we think he has this connective tissue disorder that makes all his joints really loose. And we're hoping to help him to not dislocate his knees like his brother
Part
and
of this
sister.
is hypermobility. They have joint hypermobility where most people can flex a joint to, 90 degrees. She can, all that stuff. Or flip it around backwards and all that stuff. Anyway, there's multiple people in our family that have that sort of thing. So that may be beneficial, like if you're in gymnastics possibly, but if you also have muscular atrophy and neurological issues, then those things can lead to joint dislocation, which has been a fairly common thing.
So that's why we're trying physical therapy.
That's why we're
with
exercising.
Malachi to try to work specific muscles so he doesn't hurt other things. So he has exercises to do on a daily basis for his physical therapy. And then our next one down is Gideon. He rough and tumble little boy like his brother Uriah. And then Elisha, and he's the little baby guy, and he's rough tumble. 18 months, he's all over the place and no issues with him. So there we are. So to say all that, we are not saying that you need to be out doing marathons and that type of thing. What we are
if you
saying,
want to, go for it.
Right. But what we are saying is you should keep moving your body. God has given us these bodies so that we can be about doing his work. And there are people who do his work from a wheelchair. And so we
have a couple of friends who do God's work from wheelchairs and are wonderful, amazing people, and they do what they can.
Yes.
And there's things they can't.
So our friend Bobby, who passed away a couple years ago, he was very much sharing the gospel in the ways that he could from his home by video from his wheelchair. And he was an inspiration to a lot of people. So this isn't saying if you can't move, you're useless to the kingdom. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you have the ability to move, it is best to keep ourselves moving so that we can do God's work in whatever he's called us to do. And I think that those people that I'm thinking of that work from wheelchairs would encourage you to use your body in the way God has given you, because he's given you unique advantages.
I think of your dad every time we have this conversation.
My dad. I got him on my shirt today.
Yes, that's
my dad.
So Sarah's dad had the same form of muscular dystrophy. He had it pretty severely. He wore leg braces that went up to his knees when he was younger, leg braces that went all the way up to his thighs as he got older. He was wheelchair bound at various points because of weakness and had severity of pain. But you know what? He was a volunteer firefighter. He was always volunteering for things at church. He was always, he was also a school teacher. He was always invested in the lives of the kids at school and families at church and anybody else who ever had anything. I remember when we first started dating, maybe we were recently married, and Dan volunteered me to help move a piano because he had all the equipment to move a piano.
And all the knowledge.
And all the knowledge of how to do it safely without busting people's stuff. And,
or busting people.
So at the time I had a much stronger back, and so I moved a lot of pianos under his direction and with his help. But he was someone that even if he couldn't do the physical work, he could stand there. He coached. Like he coached multiple sports at the younger levels. He coached golf at high school level, I think middle school level. Those are kind of things that if you looked at him and watched him try to get around, you wouldn't think he could do it, but he did it. And he worked hard. So and it was because if he had just said, this is painful, this is hard, I'm going to stop, he would have quit 20 years before he died.
And so we have people that will say, you know, what's it like living with a disability, like that type of thing. With my dad, I never grew up thinking my dad had a disability. We did things different as a family, but my dad didn't use it as an excuse. And so while you can't, like our family, we have certain things that we can't do because they're just not safe for our family or whatever, but we don't say, it's kind of like finances. Like you can go to the store and you can be like, kids, we can't afford to buy the special steak that you want for dinner. Or you can say, hey guys, I could buy some flour and sugar. We could make some sugar cookies tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of looking at it as like what we can't do, looking at what you can do and looking at the advantages of that and how God can be used in that. So
Absolutely.
what can you do? So we had a friend who, as she got older, couldn't go out and do the things she wanted to do, but she was an amazing prayer warrior, and we still talk about her 10 years after she died about what an amazing prayer warrior she was. So God has a job for you, but I personally know that God has given me a ministry within my family, and I want to be able to be available for my kids now, that we can go out and walk in the driveway, or we can hit a ball back and forth. But I also want to be available for my grandkids if God has that for me. I do have grandkids right now because I'm within this ministry right here. I don't get to see them super often.
Right.
Justice lives all the way in Tennessee.
Yes.
But I hope that when we get together, I have the ability to do things with him.
And when we went down there, you'll see videos that when we went down there in October, we're all crawling around on the floor and building with blocks and going outside and doing things. We do all the things that we can do. They're, as a family, like to hike and go out and boat.
We're not hiking
and all sorts
mountains.
of things. We're not hiking the mountains and we're not boating currently. Although we could. Boating isn't physically challenging as long as Josiah's not having a lot of seizures.
Right.
So anyway, we got more to say on this video?
So no, I thought it was just important to talk about. I mean, especially right now, it's easy to be moving in the summer because there's so many things to do. Whatever your family is able to do, whether it's hiking or swimming or whatever. But there's a lot of families that don't do as much in the winter because even if you are a family that goes, skiing or sledding or those types of things, it has to be the right weather to do it. So there's just a lot more uncertainty in the winter of being able to do those things. And so just reminding ourselves that God has given us a great blessing in health and a great blessing in moving. And are you keeping your body safe? Are you keeping your body active? And are you asking God, what do you want me to do for you? Because maybe God does want you to practice for that half marathon because of the work that he has for you in mind. But how are you glorifying God with your body and movement? So that's it.
Well, that's it. All right.
Hopefully that was an encouragement. We'll see you guys next time on Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. Bye.
Yeah, push the button.
Push the button.